In the year 5378, the universe was a vast and interconnected network of star systems, each teeming with life forms beyond imagination. Yet, across all the galaxies, from the ethereal Androxians of the nebular seas to the warlike Vulcans of the Fire Cloud Nebula, there was one common belief. Humans were nothing more than a myth. Captain Xyros of the Syrian collective floated in the command chamber of the Infinity's Reach, an exploration ship designed to scour the ancient ruins of the cosmos. He was a seasoned explorer, leading his crew to distant worlds and forgotten civilizations. But today, he had stumbled upon something extraordinary. His 6 eyes flicked between the holographic display and the ancient artifact they had uncovered on the barren moon of Silex III. It was a rectangular slab, barely a meter tall, etched with strange symbols, languages unknown to even the most advanced translation algorithms. But at its core, it radiated something different, a forgotten energy, a deep mystery. "Captain," a voice chimed through the intercom. It was Lyra, the ship's xenolinguist. "You're not going to believe this, but I think I've found something. You need to see this." Within moments, Xyros was standing beside her in the ship's research bay, peering over her shoulder at the holographic projection. Lyra looked pale. Her blue skin, usually vibrant, had turned almost gray. "This," she said, tapping the interface, "is an ancient legend I found cross-referenced across over 50 different species. It speaks of a race known as humans." Xyros raised an eyebrow. "Humans? Surely you don't believe that old ghost story. They're said to be gods or monsters, depending on who you ask. Either way, no one's ever found a trace of them." Lyra shook her head. "It's not just a story. I've triangulated the data. This artifact, it's a remnant of them, a piece of their civilization. I ran a molecular analysis. It's older than any known civilization, dating back over 200,000 years. Xyros frowned, scanning the ancient writing projected in front of him. "And yet, there are no records, no physical evidence, just myths and whispers." He trailed off, thinking of the stories his ancestors had told, of a race so advanced they could bend time, alter space, even transcend death itself. "Until now," Lyra added quietly. "I decrypted part of the script. It talks about a war, a great cataclysm that wiped out their kind, or so they wanted the universe to think." Xyros' eyes widened. "You're suggesting they survived?" Lyra nodded. "More than that. They left traces of themselves across the stars, hidden in forgotten corners of the universe. Their technology was so far beyond our understanding that they could erase their existence from history. But this artifact, this is proof they existed." The captain stared at the artifact, a chill creeping through his body. He had spent his life searching for lost civilizations, but the idea that humans, long considered a fairy tale, were real shook him to his core. "Where does the trail lead?" Xyros asked, his voice barely a whisper. Lyra tapped the screen, bringing up a star map. "There's a signal embedded in the artifact. It's pointing to a system on the far edge of the universe, beyond the reach of known space. No ship has ever ventured there and returned." A hush fell over the room. To travel beyond the edge of the universe was to risk everything, to journey into the unknown. But if the legends were true, if humans had survived and were hiding in the darkest reaches of space, it could change everything. "Set a course," Xyros said, determination in his voice. "We're going to find out if humans are real." Weeks later, the Infinity's Reach emerged from hyperspace in the dark void on the outskirts of the universe. A massive black hole loomed ahead, its gravitational pull warping time and space. But beyond it, hidden in its shadow, was something incredible. A planet, untouched by time, orbiting just outside the event horizon. It glowed with an unnatural light, as if it defied the very laws of physics. "Captain," Lyra whispered, her voice trembling. "That's it. The signal is coming from that planet." Xyros ordered the ship to descend into orbit. As they approached, the ship's sensors flared to life. There were structures on the surface, towers, cities, technology far beyond anything they had ever seen. But it was all abandoned, lifeless. As the landing gear touched the surface, the crew stepped out into the ghostly silence. The air was thick, heavy with the weight of millennia. Xyros' heart pounded as they made their way through the deserted streets of an ancient city. It was beautiful, a strange mixture of organic and technological marvels, but utterly empty. They finally reached the source of the signal, a massive pyramid-like structure at the city's center. Inside, the walls were covered in glyphs and murals, depicting humans interacting with strange devices, bending light, manipulating gravity. At the far end of the chamber stood a single stasis pod. Xyros and Lyra exchanged a look before cautiously approaching the pod. Its surface was smooth, glowing faintly. Lyra ran a scan. "Captain, there's something inside." With a hiss, the pod opened. A figure emerged, tall and humanoid, with eyes that glowed with ancient power. The being stepped forward, gazing at the crew with a mixture of sadness and recognition. "Humans, Shios brata. You're real." The figure smiled, its voice echoing through their minds. "We were always real," it said, "but we became something more. And now, you've found us?" Before Xyros could respond, the being extended its hand. In that moment, knowledge flooded his mind. Visions of ancient wars, of technology beyond comprehension, of a time when humans ruled the stars and then disappeared. "We left," the human said, "because the universe wasn't ready for us. But now, perhaps it is." As the human faded into a shimmering light, Xyros knew that their discovery would change everything. Humans were not a myth. They were gods, waiting for the right moment to return. And that moment had come.